What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show. So, as the U.S. is continuing to shoot down unidentified flying objects, also known as UFOs, I'll give you the White House's response to that. Look at what China is saying now. Yeah, China says that U.S. balloons have trespassed over China over 10 times since early last year. Yeah, so all of a sudden now China's coming out and saying this. Yeah, take a listen to this video and let me know your thoughts on this.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. The U.S. military is shooting down a fourth now unidentified object on Sunday and expects to recover it. Officials said there were no indications of collateral damage. Eunice Yoon, though, joins us this morning from Beijing with reaction there. There's been a lot of reaction here, Eunice, about what really has been happening and what was taking place on those balloons or whatever else was in the skies. What's the reaction on the ground? And what are people saying as I think we all worry about, does this somehow escalate in ways we don't understand?
Yeah, and I think that the Chinese reaction was relatively strong, considering that there has not been any direct accusation directed towards Beijing for the objects that were flown over the weekend. However, the foreign ministry did push back again at any suggestion that the first object was related to China, accusing the U.S. of, quote, illegally flying balloons into Chinese airspace. Now, the ministry says that American balloons have trespassed into Chinese airspace more than 10 times last year, though it didn't provide any evidence to support that claim. Now, what was interesting is that these official remarks came as state media also said that they detected, or that local authorities had detected, an unidentified flying object over a Chinese port while Chinese military exercises were supposed to take place. So this was near a naval base, and those drills are supposed to happen today. What was interesting is that the authorities were also quoted as saying that the Chinese were expecting to and preparing to shoot down that object and were enlisting the help of fishing vessels to either collect or take photos of that debris. Now, it's common practice, as you all know, for Chinese authorities as well as state media to attempt to redirect the conversation that is unfavorable to China by offering up alternative information. For example, the state media outspoken news commentator from the Global Times jumped in, tweeting, "This year can be called the year of UFO. It's so mysterious." The object over China now is being discussed online as a possible American spy balloon.
Now, does the U.S. really have balloons over China as well? Have they been doing the same for a long time? Or is China just making this up? Could they have just set up their own balloons, shot it down, and say, hey, look, there's a U.S. balloon that we just shot down? So let me know your thoughts. China did confirm that the first balloon was theirs. They said it erroneously went off course. So they did confirm that the first balloon was theirs. We don't know much about the second, third, and fourth balloons just yet, and that other radar blip over Montana, I think it was as well. Also, former Secretary of the Army Patrick Murphy, who says, prepare for the worst. And we already know that relationships with China and Russia and North Korea aren't doing well. Here's what he has to say. This was about a day or so ago, right before the Super Bowl. Listen to what he has to say here. You can let me know your thoughts on this.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm just right outside I'm in the domestic compound area outside the stadium to speak to a very special person with a great message. It's Patrick Murphy to my immediate right. He's got a great blazer on and a great message. The former Secretary of the Army. Great to see you, sir. We've shot down 3 objects, one in South Carolina that went through Montana, went down the Canadian coast, one in the Aleutian Islands off the coast of Alaska. 3 recovery operations underway, and then we haven't figured out what happened last night with Montana. I know you're an Army guy, but tell me what's going on.
Well, my brother's an Air Force officer, now retired, but this is a breach of our sovereignty. They know they're not supposed to be in our space.
Only one confirmed to be from China.
Well, we've now took out 3 aircraft, and then last night, as you mentioned, in Montana, there was a ping on the radar. Now, we don't know what that ping is. We scrambled our fighter jets. We could not get eyes. We don't know what exactly it was. But, you know, it could have been, you know, how radar is. It could have been anything. But the reality of it is that we need to make sure we protect our country and we're doing what's right.
Listen, I know you guys can't tell us everything, but this is an insult to tell the people of Montana we couldn't have shot it down over Montana. We have a congressman who said you could have shot it down. The Senator Dane said you should have shot it down. We think it ends up being shot down over South Carolina. And the fact is, we could have got in the Aleutian Islands. We chose not to. When it got inside our perimeter, I feel as though they're not leveling with us with what's going on.
Well, you know, what you saw, too, as well, is that it was now Canadian sovereignty. And that's what, you know, when you had the Prime Minister, you know, we shot down the 3rd one on Friday.
The recovery's in the Yukon right now.
Right. So when we shot that one down, it was over Canadian airspace. It was an American fighter jet, an F-22. But, you know, I think we're sending a message of what would happen, you know, in Ukraine. Obviously, we had this incredible coalition, as you know, pushing back on the Russian invasion. And I think it's sending a message, hopefully it's sending the right message to China that the world will rally around us if they keep messing around.
But Secretary, the country's got to rally around this single entity, China. Everything from the farmland they're buying, from the schools they're taking over, from the corporations that sold their soul in order to get cheap goods. This has got to be a government and a country approach.
Yeah, I'd say a whole nation approach, as you said, Brian. And what people need to understand in our great country is that we're the underdog here. We're a third of their size. Right. And I'm not just talking about geographic and population. And
do you know they have more ICBMs mobile and fixed than we do?
Right, and that's why, you know, listen, America at her best is the reluctant warrior, but we're a warrior. And we need to make sure, you know, when you have less than 1% of the country that's serving, and you only have 26% of the country that can even serve because of the obesity crisis in America and some other things, we need to wake up and understand that we have a competitor out there in China that thinks they're the preeminent power in the world. We don't want any unnecessary wars, but we have to always prepare for the worst, God forbid.
We can beat any communist country because they have no personal incentive. They've also, there was English writing on that balloon. That we are providing, again, some of the material to slit our own throat, which has got to stop.
Well, and that's why we have to be smart about it. And, you know, that's why, you know, when you look at the surveillance that they're doing even on TikTok and other things, we have to be smart and understand that we are in a competition. They have obviously done some things with hostile acts, and we need to send a clear message. Right. The world needs to send a clear message that we're not going to tolerate this.
Yeah, so that was the former Secretary of the Army who says we have to prepare for the worst. And you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this down below in the comments section. So I'll keep you up to date here on everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. Obviously, this is very concerning news. So if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel every single day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to click the bell icon after you subscribe, and I like to show you guys this stuff right here on the screen. Also, thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you can watch next. Here's a concerning video about what North Korea is doing, and here's what Russian President Vladimir Putin just did. Both are good videos and shows what's happening right now. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.